These sections present the summary of key findings, meticulously analyze the data collected, will review its specific objectives of our SOP in sequence, aligning the findings directly with the statement of the problem. Remember, this is purely a summary of what we found. Conclusions and recommendations will follow in the next part of this chapter 5. Let's begin. For the summary of findings, we need to check the guideline number 1. For our guideline number 1, guideline number 1 align the summary of findings with a statement of the problem. You always begin with clearly stating the SOP number 1, then immediately present the corresponding findings based on the statistical analysis. Repeat this process for each SOP items and sequence. In the chapter summary, you need to have the brief introductions of the paragraph as you can see. Proceed to present your findings in direct response to each SOP. At this point, you already have the result of your statistical data ready to be reported in clear and concise items or terms. As you can see in chapter 5, you do have the brief introductory part of the paragraph. It says that this chapter presents the summary of findings derived from the gathered data and analyzed data along the conclusions drawn from these findings. Recommendations are also provided by the researchers considering the study's findings and conclusions. In presenting the summary of findings, always refer to the result discussed in chapter 4. As you can see, the summary of findings are presented based on the first specific statement of the problem, which is the firmographic profile of the respondents. Underneath, we have 1.1 and 1.2. For 1.1 is the business size, and for 1.2 is the business type. Along the way, we need to remember that aligning with the first specific objective is always a must. For the guideline number 2, stay within the scope of your SOP. Do not include any findings or discussions that are not explicitly part of your SOP. Strictly adhere the SOP as written. For clarity and coherence, avoid introducing any content outside the scope of the statement of the problem. Only present findings that directly answers your SOP. Nothing more, nothing less. State the SOP before presenting the corresponding findings and consult always to the chapter 4 for the relevant statistical data. Let's take a look on guidelines number 3, base everything on analyzed data. All presentations of findings must be objective and grounded in the analyzed data from chapter 4. Retrieve your figures, percentages, and other statistical value directly from the previous chapter. For our guideline number 4, no conclusion or recommendation yet. Avoid including conclusions and recommendations in these sections. These are discussed in the latter part of your manuscript, specifically in conclusions and recommendations in the part of chapter 2 of these presentations. Let's take a look on guidelines number 5. Begin an introductory statement as you can see a while ago. Start a summary of findings with a brief introductory paragraph to set the context of the section. For your guideline number 6, present SOP in findings in sequence. Meaning, after the introduction, present each specific problem one by one for each SOP. Restate the problem, then the new paragraph. Present the corresponding findings based on your statistical data. For guideline number 7, repeat the format for each SOP. Continue these structures for each remaining SOP. Use actual values from Chapter 4 to support your findings. However, remember that numerical data should only appear on the summary of findings and they should not be repeated on the conclusion section. Important reminders in presenting the summary of findings. Remember that to follow the sequence in arrangement of your survey questions using corresponding number as your guide. In these presentations, for example, the presentations of the researchers begin with item number 2. It says that the level of implementations of ISO 9000:2015 on quality management in selected based business establishment. This is then followed by subcomponents in the survey such as 2.1 leadership, 2.2 planning. In 2.1 leadership, the overall implementations of the leadership-related practice in ISO 9000:2015 was rated as agree in the verbal interpretations as with a mean score of 3.48. While on the other hand, the planning, in terms of planning, the overall mean score was 3.46, which fall under the verbal interpretations of agree category. As you proceed, continue applying same procedures for each succeeding SOP and survey questionnaires presenting each item orderly and systematically. Always ensure that findings are supported by numerical values, followed by verbal interpretations of data. Be consistent in observing the required format and structures throughout your presentations. To sum up, in closing the sections, we presented a comprehensive summary of our findings, objectively reflecting the data gathered for each specific objective. The next chapter will delve into the implications of these findings, leading to our conclusions and recommendations. I hope these discussions have been helpful. Don't forget to follow and share my videos for more research guidance. This is Dr. Robert De Chavez, and I kindly ask for your support to like and share this video to help others too. Thank you, and may God bless you all.